So we'll unroll this onto the hot plancha. And then we have some eggs that we're gonna add as well. Let that steak sear on one side and our eggs cook. So we're ready to turn our steak over. Got a nice sear on this side. And we'll remove our ramekins from the tops of our eggs, just like so. And then we'll place our eggs right here on the top of our steak. Now that we have the eggs on top, I'm going to take this over to our cutting board where we have some cooking twine. Fold this up and over so that the eggs are in the middle. All right, now that we have our slip knots on there, I'm gonna just transfer this over to a plate to rest for a moment, and then we'll move on to our next step. So we have our softened butter, and I'm going to add it to a pastry bag. You could also use a Ziploc bag if you don't have a pastry bag available. We're just gonna let that sink down in. And then I'm gonna add some sun-dried tomatoes, some chopped parsley, some black pepper and celery salt, and a few dashes of Tabasco. Then we're gonna take our hands and incorporate the ingredients into the butter. All right, now that we have that nicely incorporated into the butter, squeeze that down to the end, and with a pair of scissors, we're gonna make a fairly large cut in the bag, and then we're just gonna pipe this onto our plastic wrap. Now, we have some skewers filled with pickled onions, pickles, and green olives. Just gonna place those in the center and then remove the bamboo skewers. And then with the help of our plastic wrap, we're gonna fold this up and over, trying to keep those ingredients in if you need to tuck them in a little better. And then we're just gonna fold that and start shaping this into a log shape. This is in a nice log shape. I'm gonna put it on this plate for now. We'll just set it aside and move on to our next step. So we're ready to assemble our Bloody Mary steak and eggs. So I'm gonna just slide this over to our cutting board. I'm gonna release this first string with my knife, and then we're gonna cut a slice from the steak, and we'll just place this over here on our plate. Add our last piece of steak to our plate, top that off with a piece of our toast, and our Bloody Mary compound butter is ready. So I'm going to add a slab of that to the top of each piece of our toast. So we'll finish off our Bloody Mary steak and eggs with an actual Bloody Mary. Find this recipe at chefclub.tv.